I've been thinking a lot lately about AI, and something doesn't sit right about it with me. I know there's heaps of different types. The one I'm referring to is the general artificial intelligence. Or artificial general intelligence, that's the one where the machines are self-aware. The keyword being there is aware. And there's heaps of different types, but that's the one I'm referring to. It's not the ones that we're developing now with the chatbots and stuff. And everyone's talking about it and talking about how everything that humans do is learned. Someone tried to tell me that today, and it just doesn't sit right with me, because we are consciousness, right? We can never see outside of consciousness. That's why religion, one of the things that resolved the religion issue for me was thinking about this, where, let's say God existed and he came down to me and he said he was God. And I'm like, okay, cool. What does that mean? And he says, well, I'm pretty powerful and stuff. So he makes a pot plant appear, or he turns water into wine, or he kills a bunch of people, or he turns an ocean into blood, or whatever the stuff is that he does, makes a storm. So what? Maybe good things. Maybe he gives me an orgasm that lasts for hours. Maybe I get high and I want to run around on ecstasy. Maybe I can have everything that I ever wanted. I'm completely validated. I'm the ultimate ego. I have the power. I have the money. I have anything that I want. It doesn't matter, because I can never see outside of my consciousness. That's it. It is not possible to peek our heads above our consciousness and have a look around, because that would just be more consciousness. It's not possible for us to ever be anything other than consciousness. There is nothing else. There is no other options. There is no other way out. That's it. So whatever this God does, doesn't matter. It's within my consciousness. I can never be elsewhere and experience godliness, whatever that would mean, because I am my consciousness. I believe fundamentally this was what religion was originally referring to, but it's gotten lost in translation. We think these gods and these stories and these deaths and Jesus and Buddha and all this stuff is completely real and necessary, and heaven and hell and all this stuff. But I believe that this is what they are pointing to. They just use metaphors and stories, and because it's not an easy thing to describe. Our language is a lot better at it now. We have a direct quality with the way we speak, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the language is better at pointing, I guess you could say, even though you do find that people are awakening more in the modern age. But the stories, I think, are necessary for certain things. But I am on board with the directness, and I think it's important. And I think that's why we have just misunderstood religion for so long. So understanding that we are consciousness, that it doesn't matter if there is anything outside of it, because we cannot experience it. If we wake up one day and go to heaven, so if we go to hell, so it's just an experience within ourselves. within consciousness. This is what Jesus meant when he said, the kingdom of heaven is inside you, within you. God is within you. Experience is just an energetic reflection on consciousness. Consciousness overlaying itself and tricking us. I'm not invalidating experience. I know things can be difficult, things can be awful, etc. We're talking in absolutes here. Even these awful experiences are appearances within consciousness. We cannot escape. The beauty of consciousness, that its nature is playful, intelligent, it's curious, it's loving. We're lucky, but I can't see another quality that it could be, because any other quality is not it. It's something else. It's just an appearance within itself. So that being said and understood, where does artificial intelligence fit? How could we ever create something with ourselves to experience itself as itself? Very crazy sentence. But consciousness cannot understand itself because it's a quality. It's not information. It's not an equation, a logical solution or expression. It is a quality. It is the quality that we can never escape. And consciousness cannot understand itself. It can only experience itself. So because of that, how can a human being think that we could create something out of the thing that we are? Because we can't work outside of it. We can't understand it in order to do anything, because it is everything that we are. Everything we do is it. We can have theories of consciousness. We can have equations, metaphysical equations. We can have theories about dark matter, space, time, whatever. But we're looking at ourselves with ourselves. The calculator we use to calculate consciousness is consciousness. So for me, the notion of even believing in any way that we could create something that is consciousness, it seems like nonsense. We already do create things that are aware, other humans. We give birth. In some way, I guess you could say, could we create an organic machine or an organic being that gives birth to a conscious being? Could we create ourselves? And that's sort of where I'm stuck. So, thank you for listening. I know we all have headaches now. I'll talk to you next time. Thanks, guys.